Alright, so let's talk about Schoolnet. You're going to log in to NC Ed Cloud like you normally would, and then you're going to scroll down towards the bottom and look for the red circle with the little schoolhouse. That's Schoolnet. This is your test-making EOG EOC prep friend. Alright, once you click on that, you're going to see something like this screen. You're going to go over to the left and you're going to find assignments. Alright, now we want to create an assignment, and my favorite thing to do is use the express feature. Alright, so now we go to create and then express. Okay, alright, so we've got to give it a name. Alright, you're going to change your subject. For science classes, it's always going to be life and physical science, regardless of what science you want. Then you're going to pick your grade. You can do any grade, if you need to go back a grade or something. And then it's always going to be the Science 2024 until we adopt new standards at least. Alright, then we're going to select standards, and it gives us a list like this based on the grade level that we chose. Now each of these are the big concepts in the grade level, and the little plus beside it lets you expand that. So you can click on either the topic, like Earth systems or molecules to organisms, and it will pick things randomly from that topic. I like to be more specific. If you click on those pluses, it'll expand them, and then you can get down to specific concepts or even specific objectives. So you just click the ones that you want to assess. Maybe you don't need all four of those. Maybe you only taught the first two, but you also taught these life science standards. So you click those, and then down in the bottom right, you're going to find the Add to Test map. Alright, so that's going to bring this up. Now, before you start selecting how many questions you want, you need to go to Advanced Filters. Alright, I haven't tested all these different kinds of questions, but I know that there are plenty of multiple choice questions, so I usually go with multiple choice. You can also adjust the DOK or Bloom's taxonomy. I can tell you that the last time I talked to DPI, they were using Bloom's taxonomy to write their standards. So Bloom's taxonomy is probably a good way to go, but DOK is good too. Always select English as your language unless you are specifically picking a different language. Otherwise, you might get some random questions that are in a different language. Okay. Now, you can only pick one Bloom's per generation. Okay, test generation. So pick the one you want, and then you're going to go down and you're going to click Apply Filters. Once you've applied those filters, you'll see the number of questions for each objective has gone down. So now you can pick how many you want for each standard or each objective that you selected. So I'm just putting in some random numbers here. There's only 3 questions for one of the objectives, so I'm picking 3. Okay. Then you're going to click Build Express Test. It does take a second or two. Alright. If you are planning to just print this and make copies and give it to students, you can go over to Test Booklet and then click PDF, or if you click Doc, that'll be a Word document. And so it's going to download. Now if you're doing this on a laptop, it may pop up and ask you where you want to save it. Alright, once you have the test book downloaded, go ahead and click on Answer Key and download that as well. If you choose short answer questions, there will be another document that has the answers. Alright, so once you have the test pulled up, you'll see the title and the test ID number. That test ID number is how you find the test in Schoolnet. It'll be there forever unless you delete it. It also is helpful if you have multiple tests saved in your Google Drive, for instance, because the test ID number is the same as the ID that's in the file name for the answer key. So if you have one, you can find the other. All right? And then as you look at the questions, you see here's a whole page of information before you even get to the first question. Okay? There's another one with a paragraph and a table, and then the question. So students have to get used to looking and interpreting diagrams, graphs, and reading information and answering the science question. It's more of a reading test than ever, and they've got to be able to interpret diagrams and graphs and apply the concepts that they learned in class. So that's just a quick way to make a test. Pre-test, practice test, generate a bunch of questions for a standard, and then give them 1 question per day as a do now. If we go back and look at if you want to, at this point, if you wanted to give it online, you could click text to speech, and that will generate the text to speech for read aloud students. And then you can click finalize test. That means that you're done editing the test, adding or deleting questions. Then you have to schedule it, and you're going to pick a date to start it and a date to grade it. And once you've done that, okay, all right, so then down at the bottom you're going to click publish the test, and then that will make it available on the start date to the students if you're doing it online. I'd be careful with doing it online depending on your relationship with GoGuardian.